can you tell us what CCA stands for?
Commonwealth Charter Academy.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it's a public cyber school here in Pennsylvania.
Back in the day, was this coal production, would you say this sent coal to the blast furnaces in Bethlehem?
Exactly. That's what it was for.
Wow. So this is all for Bethlehem.
And local market. And your local market also.
Wow.
Don't drop it.
Good morning, viewers. Today is October 10th, 2024, roughly about 9:30 in the morning. We are on a trip with the school my kids go to, a field trip, and today we are at the No.9 coal mine and museum. So here, let's climb over this thing. It's open year-round, Wednesday through Sunday. Mine tours middle of April through October. For those who are wondering what a mine tour is you go underground where coal was dug and brought up so people can, heat their homes. Or I'm hoping that this is there. Cool. Let's go check it out. And I was hoping that eventually this mine maybe fed the steel stacks down in Bethlehem, where we were for Oktoberfest. Oh, cool. So they might get a nice barbecue. Speaking of barbecue, I'll get to that in a second. Here's engine 51. She's a beauty. Needs a little, it's a fixer-upper. Vulcan Ironworks. Oh, 1923. Up in Wilkes-Barre, 51. I guess this might be where
They put the coal in.
Yeah. You know, it's ironic. Use a coal engine to dig out coal. So here is probably where the coal's set to feed the beast, which is inside here. Cool. The engineer was right here. Yeah, she's definitely in need of repair, huh? Ouch. So the track's in here. Who knows? Looks like a little mini scrapyard here. Maybe a shaft or something. So if any of my viewers have been here somewhere along the line, give us a shout out. See what this is. Yeah, I know we gotta get the comment section filled. So here's more tracks. Building. A little coal car. Oh, sorry. Forgot the sign. It's a little old. Probably sun beat up. Dry rot. Old company No.9 mine tour. So I guess we're switching it from closed to open. I was just letting my viewers know about that.
Hi.
Hi. There we go. Now we're officially open. Thank you. So my wife is getting checked in for the family. We're just going to take a walk around the grounds. I don't know much about this place. I did Google it, and they don't look like they have a website, but they do have a lot of pictures. Oh, it must be the entrance right there. So I can't really tell you what it does and what it doesn't do. So this looks like it's all new, refurbishing. So eventually, I guess this is where it came out of the mine right here. So they don't use these tracks very often. Yes, tires. So they're doing something here. So that must be where we sit on. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for this. I thought this was the mine trip that was up in Scranton. We went to up there at a place called Dixon City, and we went to a trampoline place, and they also have a mine tour. That might be extras they use. But this one is cool. I can't wait. So we're hopefully going to learn a little bit about deep Pennsylvania and their mining industry. So we got a wheelbarrow. Oh, this is Lansford, Pennsylvania. Sorry. So I finally got the name of the town. We're located in Lansford, which is way out in the boonies. It's about half an hour from Jim Thorpe. So if you know where Jim Thorpe is, it's about a half an hour. A lot of side turns, side roads, picnic tables. No picnicking now. The monument. Remember those who worked throughout the coal mining industry. Well, anyhow, as I was saying, dealing with coal and a barbecue, the one thing I haven't had in a very long time was a barbecue, hot dogs, or a booger on a coal grill. Coal barbecues food tastes way different than propane, but it's more of a pain in the ass to start. So, oh, cool. What do we got here? A Crochet Coal Company. Huh. Oh, cool. This is what we're going to be sitting in? Maybe? So what the men sat in? It's got to be. An old mural. Hopefully one day this gets repaired. Oh, dude, we really need to get some kind of funding or something to redo or get this drawings and Indian heritage there. I can't even read the words. Oh, rocks.
Came from your head.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah. Imagine if you could put lights in there. Oh, wow. The old store.
I was like, what's all the hubbub? So we walked around and I was like, this is dumb. Would not make a day out of this. This is just a bunch of clothing stores and
People looking at leaves.
yeah. I was like, this isn't fun. And I was like,
Old tools.
because I'm a local.
Right. That's the way it always works out.
But we've been talking since he got old enough to understand stuff. We were like, we should take it to the old mining network. And then he just went to school with it. I was like, hey.
I'm just going to let you guys look. I'm not saying anything. There's nothing to say. Just look at the old pictures. I mean, this is history here. History that, most of you will never see. Most don't care. The men who ran it and most likely probably destroyed it. Oh, wow. Old equipment. it just mesmerized that, you know, how men and maybe women, I don't know, worked so hard to build our country up, our state particular probably, and now we're in danger of people, you know, losing their homes, jobs are dying right now. It's just sad because to me, let's just say, take an example. You know, women back in the day, they fought so hard, burned bras to get the right to vote. And now, fast forward, as a woman, if you don't go out and vote, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because elections is a couple weeks away. If you don't take advantage of your vote, all that work that women did back in the day to get the right to vote becomes nothing to them. It means nothing right now. And what I guess my point is, the men who worked hard in the coal mine built a legacy, and now all it is just relics in the museum where a lot of people don't go and see. And the reason is because history. It does kind of look, but no, it's a steel mill, yeah, but there is still coal mining going on in states like West Virginia, but I've watched other YouTubers who go into the backwoods of places where there's still coal mining, and keep in mind, I might do a short video of my favorite YouTubers where I become inspired why to do this. And hopefully you'll watch them and you'll learn a lot about people in general, that a lot of people are good out there. Stereotypes are just put to rest. So, yeah, it taught me a lot. But anyhow, it's a dirty job. Many people die. And the one thing that you probably don't know is, you ever hear this song, Canary in the Coal Mine by the Police? All right. Well, you know what a canary in a coal mine means?
No.
Well, when they were in mining, they used to bring a canary in a cage, and if the canary died, that means the oxygen ran out, and you get out of there. So, did they teach that to you in school?
Yeah, we read a book about it.
Ooh, good. How about you, bud? Do you know what a canary in a coal mine is?
No.
Did they ever teach you about canary in a coal mine?
If they did, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay. Well, canary in a coal mine means if the canary dies, there's no oxygen in the tunnel and you got to get out. Did you ever hear about that?
I live without oxygen.
Oh, I know. Button don't work. Well, can you tell me a little bit about this place?
This place here started in 1855, and it continuously worked till June 22nd, 1972. It's the oldest continuously operating coal mine in the world. It's a solid rock tunnel. It cross-cuts every vein of coal. There's a shaft inside that is 210 feet from the surface, and from the gangway level it goes down 720 feet.
Now, back in the day, was this coal production? Would you say this sent coal to the blast furnaces in Bethlehem?
Exactly. That's what it was for.
Wow. So this is all for Bethlehem.
And local market, and your local market also.
What caused this place to close down?
A couple different things. Mostly strip mining. Strip mining is how you get coal out today. Right across the street, they're strip mining the same veins of coal that was in here. There's 23 men working across the street strip mining when there were 280 men employees that worked inside this coal mine at one time. It's a lot more profitable for the company to strip mine coal.
So that's like anything. It boils down to profit to economics.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Do you guys get any like government funding or grants to help run this place?
Yes, this is a non-profit organization. They just saved the Durrance fan house that they're doing construction on right now. The first part of the Durrance fan house was built in 1883, and the second fan was built in 1905. I think it was 05 or 08. But this is all, they get grants and money from the public that comes to the tour.
All right.
Helps.
Yeah, because I saw that mural that's on the back over there, and I was like, wow, that must be around for a long time. But weather and nature claims it. But any plans to restore that?
Yes, they are.
Oh, good.
Yes. The whole thing is getting done.
I can see there's concrete and everything, so I can't wait to go to the door. I'm personally very excited because this is history. This is, again,
Yeah, it needs to be taught.
It does need to be taught before it's forget for generations and generations.
Yes.
All right. Well, looking forward to taking the tour with you, sir. Thank you.
The most dangerous part of this tour is going to be getting in and out of the man cars. They are low. You got to duck to get in. Stay ducked because there's a pipe that runs in the middle of it, and everybody wants to hit their head off it. It doesn't feel good. It's 1855 and 1931. Now, in 1855 is when they started this tunnel in the side of the mountain. Please remember, there's no electricity, so this was done by hand. Now, this tunnel goes due south. It's solid rock tunnel. It's considered a cross-cut tunnel. Now, coal. We have the largest deposit of anthracite coal in the world. Coal runs in veins like in our body. It runs east to west, or west to east, however you want to think of it. The coal in this valley runs over 61 miles. It runs from Jim Thorpe all the way down below Williamstown, right above Harrisburg. Same veins of coal. Now the veins of coal runs up over the mountains, down through the valleys, up to the next mountain. Lots of mountains. It gets a little thin past Hazleton, but it goes to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area, same veins of coal. So if coal runs east and west and this is going south, it's called a cross-cut tunnel because it cross-cut each one of the veins of coal. Now this tunnel used to go over 2.5 miles at one time. Now the other date is in 1931. That was during the Great Depression. That's when the government put a lot of unemployed men back to work. What they're doing is taking old timbers out, putting steel and concrete in, reinforcing the main tunnel and other haulage tunnels, they're called.
Go drop it.
It's cold right about now. It's a little bit colder down here than it was outside. Got some kind of smell, like oil.
called a man trip. That's what they would call that when you worked inside of a coal mine. And that motor tank quarter tunnel where I worked at, that was for the track crew that weighs 7 tons, and they would have 2 flat cars with roof on it with a bunch of tools in it. And there's 3 guys, all they did was fix the rails all day long on their shift because of the acid that's in the water and the railway. Now, that's only 3 cars. Now, they would have 15 cars, it's called a trip of cars, that would be loaded and empties. Now, they would bring 2 trips of cars inside the mine and take the loaded truck at a time. And that motor used to weigh 20 tons. So imagine what that sounds like if you guys thought this was loud. Now, we just traveled 1,600 feet into the earth. We came off that main tunnel that I talked about, and we came into this tunnel. This tunnel was started in 1900. It was started to store cars and to access the lower levels below us, and they put an elevator shaft in. It was started in 3 different areas. Now, when we came in, there's 3 different ways to access coal in Northeast PA. This is considered a drift tunnel. The other one is a shaft that you guys will see. That's when you're working your way from the top down. And the third is called a slope, where it goes in on an angle. That's the 3 different ways. Now, everybody thinks you go down into the coal mines, right? You guys think we just went down into the coal mines?
You went across.
Huh?
You went across into the mine. It's not really going down because you're inside the mountain.
Right, but to get in here, everybody thinks you go down. Actually, we went uphill. We were 8 feet higher here than what we were outside. All drift tunnels go in on a 2-degree pitch. As you're going in, you're going uphill. That's because of water. Water is the most expensive thing for the coal operator to pay for. It's not labor, trust me. Water naturally flows at 2 degrees, so the water will run out in ditches. And they don't have to pump the water at this level. There's 3 levels below us that are 200 feet apart. They would have to pump the water from down below up to this level, and it would run out naturally then. Now, also, they didn't have that motor back then, mules. Mules is what took the cars in and out of the mine back then. So it's easier to have a mule take loaded cars going a slight grade going downhill and bring the empties uphill. Now, when we turned into this tunnel, there was a wooden wall there with a square in it that we drove through it. When this mine was first operating, there would be a door there. They'd keep this closed. So the air didn't come into the tunnel this way, had to travel through the tunnels and miles of tunnels and come back up around here. There was a boy, his nickname was called the Nipper Boy. He's 12 years old. Who's 12 here? You guys would be working in here 12-hour days, 6 days a week. His job was, when he heard the cars coming, he'd have to get up and open the doors of this area. I remember, he's 12 years old, and he's working 6 days a week, 12-hour days. Okay, now, during the 1960s, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, they filled these tunnels with supplies. They made fallout shelters. We're in solid rock right here. They figured if we would have been in the war with Russia and they would have bombed us, we'd be perfectly safe here. And I think we'd be perfectly safe. Now, are you guys local? Are you from the local area?
We're outside Reading.
Outside of Reading? I live in Shamokin, so I drive a little more than an hour to give the tours. But for the local people, if we made a tunnel and we went straight up into the mountain and 190 feet, we'd come out on Panther Valley's football field. We're underneath their football field right now.
Wow.
Pretty cool, huh?
Hello.
What do you guys think? Okay. Now, this is what they're coming for. This is coal. Now, when they come to this tunnel through here, guys follow me. This is what it is. This is solid coal. They did not mine the coal here. This is all solid coal. We only came through the coal here because they wanted this tunnel to last forever. Now, this is called timbers. Now, timbers would be out in here if they mined the coal out. But they didn't, they only came through it. So this is called a three-piece set. This is how you timber in the gangway, this is called a gangway. So this would be a leg, going across here is a collar, a leg's across here. These are sprags, they're like the shock absorbers of your car. When you fire your coal, you're having concussion waves, that helps distribute the weight. These are called lightings, and that's your lining boards for your ceiling. And right up there is solid coal. Now that vein of coal was called the Orchard vein. We just came into the Primrose vein. This vein of coal, this was mined in the 1880s. Now, here's our first piece of equipment. It is called the Go Devil. Now, this little cart would run on a set of tracks that you people are standing on right now. The set of tracks came from the elevator shaft and went all the way out to where that door was. This is where they stored the loaded cars when they come up off the elevator shaft. Now, when this was first being ran, it was steam power that ran this piece of equipment, this little cart. When the elevator came up, the boy, around 12 years old, would hook it up to the axle, and they would drag it out into this area. Now, I'm thinking, why would they nickname this the Go Devil? Well, we are inside the earth. Steam power is what ran this at first. They have big boiler houses outside, and they would pump steam in cast iron pipes into this mine and the mine that was across the street at number 8 mine. So steam operated this at first. So it had to be warmer in here, hotter. Plus, there's no lights inside of coal mines. They had this little whale's oil lights on, like a candle. That's all they got to see with. Now, I could imagine when this was coming back empty, this cart probably would hit a couple of coal miners. And it's steamy, hot in here. So I'm probably thinking they probably called this worse thing than a Go Devil. Around the turn of the century, they started to put electricity into the mines. This one didn't get electricity till around 1910. They brought the cable down through the elevator shaft, they electrified that, this, and over there in the hospital area. Right there is some of the cables that they took out when they closed the mine. They got rid of the boilers and they electrified this. They got rid of the boilers and they put compressors in. And that's what runs your drills and that stuff today is compressors. Now, in 1900 is when they invented steam drills. Steam drills is what made this tunnel and the elevator shaft. Can you guys imagine holding on to a hot steel steam drill? That's what they did back then. That's what made this tunnel. Now, when we're outside and I was talking about the Great Depression, if you guys just move a little bit, this is what they're taking out. This is a leg, piece of a three-piece set. This would be a leg, a collar would go across here, and another leg would come down through here. Well, they took that stuff out and they put this concrete and steel in. Look how thick this wall is. And the steel. Two things that never came inside this mountain is a cement truck. It's not gonna fit in here. Also, a crane. A crane's not gonna fit in here. You guys seen a crane outside, you think it's gonna fit in here? No. This stuff was done by hand by the coal miners back then. Okay, follow me in some. Now, the further in you go, the higher up the mountain goes. You guys wanna line up in front of the fence. We're halfway through this tunnel. Wow. This is an elevator shaft. This is the last one that's in America. You guys see that piece of wood up there? That beam?
Yeah.
That is one piece of wood. They had to get that up there. Now, the chains that hook up to the cable, if you took it up to the surface, that's 210 feet to the surface. This elevator shaft also goes down 720 feet in solid rock. This is all solid rock. Now, once it gets to the surface, it goes around the head frame, and over here there'd be another building. In my area, they called it a Heiston Shandy. In this area, they call it a Hoiston Shandy. I don't know why they call it that, but they did. Inside it, 2 elevator operators. They're called heisters. I don't know why they nicknamed them heisters. Maybe someone stole something when they were little and they got called a heister, but that's what they called them. Now, how this worked was a buzzer system. There'd be a buzzer and bells over here. Once they got the loaded car off, they push an empty car on it. Boy around 12 years old would come over here and he'd push his buzzer. A bell would ring up into the Heiston Shandy. It had a certain code to tell the heister where he wanted the car. The heister would hear it. He'd wait about 30 seconds. He'd ring his buzzer. I rang the bell down here. In about another 30 seconds, he's better be out of the way because the cars are moving. And like I said earlier, there is 3 different layers below us that are 200 feet apart. Now, they worked the lower levels until 1960. In 1960, they decided to shut the lower levels off. They were gonna go to 800-foot level and put a 4th level in, but strip mining. Strip mining is how they get coal out today. There was 280 men and boys that worked inside of this mine when it was in full production. Right across the street, they're mining the same veins of coal over here. There's 23 men working over there. So it's a lot more profitable for the coal company to strip mine than deep mine. Now, they worked this level till 1972. In 1972, Hurricane Agnes came through the area and it flooded everything. Once the water receded, it came back in here and decided it's not worth mining it this way anymore. So they took anything that was worth value. Here's some trolley cable. They took the electricity cable, anything that they could scrap, they scrapped it until they're forced to close it. They sealed off the front, put a pipe in for the water to drain. In 1998, the 2 towns got together and made a non-profit organization. They blew it shut open, and it took them 7 years to clean up the mess from the 72 flood. And here we are today. Now, when the guys came to work back then, they walked in because they're faster than mules. They'd walk in and they would hold on to these rings as they got lowered below. That's all they got to hold on to. Imagine that ride, better than Knoebels. Anyhow, when I started, I came in and we all went into a room like this. This is a maintenance room. I started in 1985. That's where everything gets fixed. It's also the foreman's office, and it's kind of like a lunchroom. Now, when we got out, we all went in there, and everybody started eating their lunch. And I'm thinking to myself, I just turned 19, I'm thinking to myself, why are we eating our lunch? We didn't even work yet. The reason why we ate our lunch is our foremans are doing a pre-safety check of our work area. The crew before us just got done taking a cut of coal. Cut of coal is when you drill the coal and use a dynamite and you're exploding it. That's the most likely time methane will be released. Now that's not guaranteed, but it's the most likely time. Also, carbon dioxide, they call that black damp. The flames from the dynamite in your work area is eating the oxygen up and it's leaving carbon dioxide. Both gases are colorless, tasteless, and odorless. You don't know you're in it until it's too late. So they're going to check on the gases. When they came back out, you grabbed your water bottle and you went to work. And once you got done, you came out. Now there's different crews and different families. So once you got your job done, everybody would go to a designated area like this, wait for everybody to come. Everybody came back, the foremen would count. make sure everybody's there. If somebody's missing, you don't go looking for them because something happened. Now, the time that I worked inside, that never happened to me, but it did happen to my father on March 1st, 1977 at Tower City, PA. 9 men lost their life that day in a mining accident. There was one person that was trapped inside. We didn't see my dad that much that time because he stayed over there. He was part of the mine rescue team. Once they got the miner out and they got all the 9 bodies out, that's when he came home. Now over here is a thermometer. It says it is 50 degrees in here. It's 50 degrees in here usually all year round. It might change from 48 to 52. It depends on if there's a high front or a low front up here. Okay? Now, when they shut those water pumps off in the 1960s, water slowly started to rise. And it stopped when it found its natural water level here in the valley. We're gonna go up there and you can look straight down and you can see the water down there. It's about 230 feet below us. You guys take all the pictures you want, I don't care, but don't drop nothing down there. That's where it's staying. Yes, yes.
Lean on over and take a look down there, and you can see the water that's down there.
Ah,
That goes down.
Did you get your phone?
yeah.
Green and me. Holy.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yep, there she goes.
Just realized I'm
Wow.
Hell.
Nah, I bet it would take at least 10 minutes. Depends if you like go full force, like head down.
Okay, we're on the other side of this tunnel. This is where they stored the empty cars. Not all the cars are stored here. There's another storage area deeper in the mine. Now, this is a coal car, guys. This weighs 2 tons empty. You can put 5+ ton of coal or 7+ ton of rock in this. This is called the transfer cable. All this did was move the cars to the left or to the right.
Move it
As
to the
the
left or
loader
to the
was
right.
getting taken off, that's how they put the empty on. All this steel is also down below because I was down below a couple years ago. What you see here is exactly down below. Now, how they make this tunnel back then without electricity? Here is a drill bit called jack steel. This is a star bit. The only difference between this and the one they used back then is there's a wedge here. You and your partner's taking turns. Now, one of you are holding up against the rock while your partner's swinging a 20-pound sledgehammer as hard as he can. He hit it, you turn it a quarter turn, hit it, turn it a quarter
When I
turn.
nod my head,
Until they
you
got
hit it.
that steel 3 foot inside the rock. The next thing, they used black powder back then. Dynamite wasn't invented yet. So they put the black powder into bags, and there'd be a squid fuse that was hot on one end. They tap them into the hole, they get leads, it's called all in one fuse. They take their cap off back then because they had a well's oil lab. They light it and they run. They run into what they call a manhole, or the coal miners call it a dog hole, because they worked them like dogs back then. On our way back out, you'll see some of them right to the right. When we're going back out, we passed all that concrete work where it turns rock again. There's lights that you can see them if you want to look towards this way out. Now, let's talk about when my grandfather, he worked inside of the coal mines. He's third generation. And the federal government did not make laws or regulations to protect the coal miners. The companies not buying none of it because it's cutting into their profits. So they didn't have water tanks. That means they're drilling dry. That means those guys are eating, breathing in that rock dust. All rock has silica in it. Now, when before I started, they sent me a miner's training. They showed me pictures. They showed me a molecule of silica. We all know what that bad coronavirus looks like now, right? Well, at the end of the tentacles had claws. Once you breathe that rock dust in, it's attached to your lungs, you can never cough it out. It's staying in there. Now, my grandfather told me he would take 2 hankies and he'd wet it and he'd wrap that around his face. So it helped filter out the rock dust so they weren't breathing it in. Now, he told me he was the only one that did that back then. All those guys start by chewing tobacco, stopping the dust from going in. All chewing tobacco did was rot their teeth. None of them guys I worked with had teeth. These are my real teeth. You know what I used to chew? Bubble, sugar-free bubble gum. And instead of spitting, I blow bubbles. It used to irritate me with my coal miners. Now, so they're breathing that stuff in, and they keep breathing it in. What happened is they died of a disease called selenosis. That's from the rock dust. What happened is you're breathing that in, and our bodies are mostly made of water. Their lungs turn to concrete, and they suffocated. Oh, God. Yeah, that's what happened. Now, all those coal miners back then that worked with my grandfather that didn't do that, they were dying in their late 40s, early 50s. My grandfather lived till he was 80 years old. Follow me. That's the way it goes down all the way. At one time, there was step platform that goes down like this. I went down there a couple years ago. Bad choice. I'm not 20 anymore. Anyhow, it goes down and out like that, 13 feet, it's a big U-turn, and comes down to your lower level, which is 200 feet below us. Mules would not get on that elevator, they're smarter than you think. That's how they got the mules down there. That's also, if something broke and the elevator wouldn't work, that's how the coal miners got out. So now, if you're born into a coal family like I was, most likely you end up working in the coal industry, like I did. Now, when my grandfather, great-grandfather, and great-great-grandfather, when they started in the coal industry, who's in 3rd grade? 3rd grade, you're going to the garment industry. You guys, next year you gotta go to work in the breaker. At the end of 3rd grade was the last day of their freedom, because the next day they had to go to the coal breaker to work. They had to pick the rock out of the coal. They worked 6 days a week, anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day. It depended on how long it took them to clean that coal. 3rd grade, think about that. Now, once they got to that ripe old age of 12, they graduated and came inside here to work. You're either the nipper boy that I told you who opened and closed the doors, or you're this guy. He is the mule boy.
I won't be that guy.
No, you don't. This guy here's main job was to get that car, that mule to move that car in different places of the mine. You're working 12-hour days, 6 days a week, and you got like 25 cents to 50 cents a week. Wow. Sure you want to be him?
That's it.
That's it. Now, this is what they wore back then. There's records outside. This is what they wore back then. This is this cap. This is a Wells oil lamp. Wells oil is Wells fat or blubber melted down to make it oil. They almost extinct the wells because of it. It gave you a flame about an inch and a half. That's all they got to see with. Now, the problem with an open flame inside the coal mines, it set the methane off. Thousands and thousands and thousands of men and boys got killed because of that. Now, in 1889, in a coal mine in South West Virginia, 362 men and boys lost their life that day because of a mine explosion. So what did they start doing? They brought the canary inside the mine. Little birds they put into a cage, they brought them inside. The reason they brought them inside is because they're smaller than us. If the bird's alive, you're okay. If the bird died, you had to get out of that. Now, in England, in 1815, we are at war with England. A scientist named Sir Humphrey Davy is trying to invent a light to bring more light inside here because it is really dark. So he invented a Davy lamp. Now the coal miners did not want to use it at first because they walked in and they had enough stuff that they carried in. So it wasn't around to 1850s to 60s where they realized that the flame would get higher if you're in methane, or it'll get lower if you're in carbon dioxide. Now, can everybody see these three lines? They're there for a reason. Now, you light it outside, you set the flame to about where I have it now, and you don't put it back out till you go back outside. Now, methane forms pockets at our ceiling. Do you hear that car? Do you hear that rumbling? Mm-hmm. Who's 12 years old? Okay, you gotta go open up them doors, hurry up. That's your job. Okay, anyhow, methane forms pockets at the ceiling first. So you take your light, you walk it around your work area, and you slowly bring it down. If it's like this, it's okay to go to work. Now, if the flame got higher, went to the first line, it's telling me, sometimes the flame will turn blue too. It's telling me, hey, I got methane in my work area. Eventually it's gonna kill me. So they invented a thing called an air mover. We call it an air bazooka because it looked like a bazooka. So you take it out of the box and you hang it on the one side of your work area. You take the compressed air line, you plug it in, you turn it on. Now it's blowing fresh air in my work area and taking bad air out and going through the tunnels and getting sucked out of the mine. Now, if the flame reached the second line, it's telling me it's explosive. A spark off a pit, open flame, a light, we're all gonna get killed in a methane explosion. Now, to reach the third line, it's saying it's deadly. Hey, darling, you're about to die. Turn around and get to the fresh air. Now, we're not mining right now, so we are not producing any gases, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, carbon dioxide, that's heavier, so it forms at our feet first. You take your lamp, you walk it around, you bring it up. It's okay to go to work. If the flame is flickering, it's telling me I don't have a lot of oxygen in there. When you did it by hand, in a sledgehammer.
What's all these old things that are hanging down? Like this?
Where the trolley cable ran.
Oh,
and there
okay.
would be the electrical cable in here. And
Okay.
the steam pipe would be, well,
Oh, wow, there it is.
the compressed air line the entire day there. Pitch black.
Yeah, you can't even see your hand. I did it at Christmas Eve.
Yeah, you can't see your hand. But that's how it's realistic, it is. And then if that flame went out or something like that, that's all they got to see. They couldn't even see. I was trained if something happened with my light or something like that, you got down on your hands and knees and put your finger in your mouth and wet it. Whichever the air is going, that's the way you want to go. And you crawl to your hands and knees till you can feel the rails here. Then you stand up and do your finger again. And then if it's going that way, that means you want to follow there and drag your feet on your rail. Yes.
What are those numbers?
Huh?
What are the numbers for? On there.
Oh, that's when the mine was inspected. There is a foreman or a lead miner comes and inspects it every day. Every other week, either the state or the federal government comes and inspect the mine. It still has to be inspected. It's still considered, which blows my mind, an active mine, but we're not active. We're not mining coal. So I don't know why. This is our phone. This is a call out if there's an emergency. It's also the call out to check on the weather. Really? Okay, if there's calling for thunderstorms that day, you gotta call outside to make sure there's no thunderclouds. So now, there's 140 guys work where I work, and I was the youngest one, so who do you think they made use the phone all the time? Me. Yep, I had to come out calling outside. Everybody's a wise guy, calling outside. He has to be there, because that's his job. Yeah, what do you want? Well, what do you think I want? Send me 5 hot pepperoni pizzas in here and a nice little case of beer. What's the weather like? Now, if there is a chance of thunderstorms, you can't touch the dynamite. This happened in around 1986. I'm almost positive it was around Pottsville. The guys had their holes drilled. They had the dynamite in the holes with the cap. Lightning hit the ground, traveled through the ground, and killed the 3 men. Yeah. There's many ways to die inside these coal mines.
How's a tornado come?
Never. How's a tornado coming in here?
No, like how does people like mind or like how does a tornado like affect or like a hurricane? No, nothing.
Hurricane, a couple of weeks later, the water might come up, it all depends. Like in 72, it flooded it after a day or two. Also, there's been 3 earthquakes in Pennsylvania since this mine's been opened. Here we are. They didn't do anything to it. Now, where was I? Oh, with the dynamite and all that. Now, let's just go back in time a little bit. Now, let's say it's 1865, 100 years before I was born, so who's good at math? And he went to work, and he got hurt. They bring him down here, and they put him off to the side. They grab a jug of whiskey that was in every mine. They clean his cuts up, and then they probably give it to him, hopefully that they had a blanket for him, because he wouldn't go anywhere. Back then, if you got hurt inside here, you stayed inside here all shift. Nothing left this mine back then but coal during production hours. What happened if that killed him? His body stayed in here. 67 people got killed inside of this coal mine. The youngest was 15 years old. They called him a scotcher. Back there where that tunnel opens up, way back where the other storage areas, well, the coal company did not want the mules back there because that's where the bad gases are. So they'd bring the mules would bring cars in so far, and it was the coal miners that pushed it back further. Once they got the car loaded up, they give it a push. If we're going 2 degrees uphill this way, means we're going 2 degrees downhill this way. It was that boy's job to stop that car back there. They called him a scotcher. He had sticks about this long, about that fat. One end had a wedge cut on it. He would have to run and jam that stick in between the wheel and the rail to stop the car. He got ran over. 15 years old. What did they do? He stayed in here. At the end of the day, they take him out, they throw him in a car called the Black Maria, go to their house, knock on the door, tell his mom or the wife, you got 3 days to replace him or we're evicting you. And they evicted him back then. Yeah, life was different back then. There's over 12.5 million immigrants came from Europe at this time frame to find a better life and to get a job. They didn't care. It was all about greed, all about profits. Now, Sunday came, Sunday's payday. Hey, I didn't get killed this week, I'm gonna get paid. Well, you went to the company store, they owned it, one store, one town. They owned everything back then. They got paid by how much coal they got out. Hartman, you got so much coal, you get so much money, right, you think? Well, we're deducted for the oil that you use in your lamp. We had to sharpen your picks. We had the food that you bought in our store, that we raised the prices up because there's no other store to buy your groceries in. We're gonna deduct that, your rent, anything they can think of. And the worst thing about it is, they didn't pay them American money, they paid them in company script. That's a steel coin or tin coin with the name of the town in it. That's what they paid them by. Now, it got very violent in our area back in the 1870s. Somebody shot a sheriff right down here in Tamaqua, and the owner of the coal mine was called Franklin B. Gound. He was a lawyer. He blamed it on the Molly McGuires, the Irish. Blamed it on them. June 21st, 1877, it's called the Day of the Rope. He had 7 of them hung in Pottsville, 3 in Jim Thorpe. A couple months later, he had 10 more hung in my area. Well, they were trying to form unions. He ended up breaking up the union. Let's go into 1889. The first union was formed. It was called the United Mine Workers of America, mostly because of Mother Jones was advocating for the unions and the coal miners. Let's jump up into 1902. 1902, every coal miner went on strike at one time. They almost shut the country down because there was no coal to run the industry. Theodore Roosevelt's our president.
They forced the coal companies to obey by three things. Safety. Safety is what they wanted. If they invented this in 1815 and they knew about it in the 1860s to save coal miners' lives, they did not make them buy these after 1902. Now they're supposed to have a first aid station set up. This is called a hospital. This hospital wasn't even built in 1930. They're supposed to start building them after 1902. I have some pictures of them where I lived when they started building the hospitals. But this is just a sham because we're outside 1,600 feet. There's no doctor here. There's no nurse in here. But it had medical supplies. This tunnel went 2.5 miles in. I think it should have been further inside the mountain. They didn't want to use them. They didn't want them to use their medical supplies. After 1902, if I got hurt, I had to have a first aid station, patch me up, get me the best I can, then get me to the hospital. I think if I made it this far, don't stop here, get me outside, get me to the hospital. After 1902, if I got killed in here, they could no longer keep me in here, that all coal mining had to cease. And they had to get me outside, bury me properly, and they couldn't evict us anymore. After 1902, they're supposed to pay us by American money. But the coal miners down south decided they're going to the bars with it. So the Ys had an uproar, and they signed contracts saying they paid them so much American money. Now, they wanted an 8-hour, 5-day a week work week. They did not get that till 1916. In 1918, MSHA, Mine Safety and Health Administration, was formed. The coal owners were not obeying by the new laws, so they went on strike again in 1920. After 1920, they started bringing mine inspectors in here to make sure our new laws were being followed, and that's when coal mining got a lot safer. Okay?
I'm listening.
So I'm guessing like, why? So they made kids work because of greed.
Yes, because back then, don't forget, there was no really schools or education.
No, my grandfather smoked on top of everything. He still lived to be like 85, I think. But still,
It worked.
the other people are already on there. They should be coming back anytime soon, and I'm glad
Well,
you guys
there's
got to
another
go.
tour going down.
Yes.
So-
Today's tour was sponsored by CCA. Can you tell us what CCA stands for?
Commonwealth Charter Academy.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, it's a public cyber school here in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
What do they have to offer compared to CCA and a brick and mortar school? Is there any difference? Can go just a little bit into that.
Yeah. The schools, our motto is how schools should work. So a brick and mortar school is just a school that's in a building. We are a cyber school, so everything is virtually. We send out curriculums, laptop supplies, and any essentials that the kids need in order for them to do school. They're able to do all kinds of assignments and stuff and hop on field trips. Their attendance is there. They're able to it's mostly for families who maybe, let's say you have a lot of health conditions and things like that. It's a good school when you need to work outside of school, regular brick and mortar school hours. And that way you can still get a really amazing education, but it won't hinder appointments or any issues that you might need.
Well,
Yeah.
I understand you said you put this field trip together.
Yes.
Just wanted to say we enjoyed it. We loved it. Keep up the good work. How many field trips do you offer per month?
Per month is different, but I know per year each FIC tries to hit about 88 field trips per year. So across the state, we have 1,000+ field trips here.
That's awesome. Because when I went to brick and mortar Catholic school,
Yeah.
we didn't have any. I think we maybe one a year. But you guys are phenomenal. That's why I send my kids to school here. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I appreciate it. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm happy to hear that, and I hope you have a successful channel. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you guys for coming.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank CCA for today's trip, sponsored field trip. It was amazing. I learned a lot about coal. Seeing it and watching it on YouTube, folks, are two different things. I mean, you get the drippage from the moisture that's leaking down from the ground. You get the feel of going into a coal car. You can smell the smell, and just the way this gentleman described how it was back in the day. I mean, you basically had no life. Kids had no life. Today, everybody's entitled. You know, you got your Xbox, PlayStation. You know, here, this is why, you know, you be, like my son said, be grateful for what you have. Because back then, these people worked hard for you to have what you have now. And this is why it's important to educate yourself so you don't end up maybe in a job like this. The most important, powerful weapon in the world to me is a book. Pick it up, read and learn about something. Put that controller down and educate yourself to become better. But anyhow, I like to thank the number 9 coal mine in Lansfield, Pennsylvania, for sponsoring the trip. Lansford, sorry. I was corrected by my camera woman. It was amazing. So I'm glad my subscribers and my family came along, sorry. And again, thank you to the new subscribers that appear on my channel. And welcome to, this is, again, a family-orientated channel. Nothing negative. You might hear a couple innuendos, but this is basically for, hey, what do you want to do this weekend? Oh, I remember Heaven Skies had a coal trip if you lived in America. Oh, let's try one in our area. See these places before they're gone, because this is basically how our country was built, and you get to see what it's like. But anyhow, if you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get up to a certain to 1,000 subscribers. I know I got a long way to go, but this is, you know, a fun thing for me to do. But anyhow, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for future notifications, and also
give it a big thumbs up.
Give it a big thumbs up. That was a weak big thumbs up. Come on, man, do a better one. Come on, do it.
Give it a big thumbs up.
Oh, that was weak. But anyhow, give it a big thumbs up. And again, see you in the next video. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you for coming on, who comes along. Again, God bless every single one of you. And let's pray for the victims down in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. They're having it hard. They lost their homes. I might have lost my job to company greed on August 15th, but these people lost everything. So let's help them out. Say some prayers. Think of them in your daily, activities. Just say, "Oh Lord, please help them." Again, thank you. God bless every single one, and God bless America. And get out and vote.
Scrolling through the feed, I see all the faces. The laughter and the struggles, we're all in the races. A moment of connection, just a tap on the screen. Sharing all our stories, together we're a team. Just take a second, make your voice loud. Stop scrolling and hit that like button. Let's lift each other up, don't let the chance be forgotten. Spread the love and joy, let your heart show. Hit that like button, let the good vibes flow. can light up the dark. When the weight of the world feels heavy as stone, just one click can remind us we're not alone. Let's stand together, it's time to ignite. Stop screaming.